Guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be reacting to my best and most iconic moments from Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. So many great moments across the 5 seasons, so let's get into it. First of all, we have Marvin killing anyone. Anytime Marvin goes out to kill someone, he's always new, looking good, ready for the kill. Especially when Lulu died, he was on another level. Like when he went to kill Akbar, for example, 2 guns in hand, lollipop in mouth, just ready to like pop off and like kill anyone looking for unique. So that was obviously one of my favorite moments in Raising Kanan. I also remember the apartment scene in season 2, episode 10, when there was like a war between Unique's guys and Rock's guys, and they came in busting into the apartment building. Marvin was on smoke, shooting anyone, defending his territory. It was just so hard to see him like, go out like that. I was also concerned that I was going to die in a shootout too. So like I was expecting it to happen at some point, but it didn't. Hey. Next we have this iconic scene, Rock to Lulu. I own you, nigga. This scene when Rock is trying to tell him that I'm trying to put everything together and you're trying to destroy what I'm putting together. Like, it was just so deep. Lou was going through his own things, not understanding his place in life or in this business anymore. Rock trying to tell him that you need to fall in line and do what I say because I'm gonna keep this family together. And we also see here, when she decided to take him to rehab, and her telling him that he loves him. This was always the relationship. It was always hard, it was always loving at the end of the day. So yeah, this was surely an iconic scene too. This is when people actually started saying that, nah, Rock is the GOAT, man. Like, Rock is like up there. Next, we have when Breeze met Kanan, Snaps and Pops introducing them. The start of an era, the start of what became OG Power, From here, they meet Tommy and Ghost. But this was the start of the downfall of the Thomas family when these two met. And you can see everything that happened in season 5. You can see why it went the way it did, them sizing each other up. And Breeze at this point knew that he was Kanan's brother. And we still don't know if that was a lie, we still don't know if it's true, but we just know that's what he told Kanan. And Kanan knows obviously that he's not Defcon's son, but he's trying to still make Breeze think that yes, we're brothers. And so let's see how it goes, let's see what happens in Origins. Let's see if Breeze is in Origins. Can't wait to see what happens. Up next, we have this very emotional scene from Jukebox and Marvin in season 5. We all know what they've been through. We all know they've gone through a lot in their relationship. So to get to this moment and they're telling each other like, I love you, I want you to be safe, let's leave New York. Jukebox brought up the idea of like, let's just get out of here, we don't need all this. For it to end the way it did, it's sad, but I'm happy we had this moment between the two of them. And I'm happy they had each other after everything was going down. We also have this moment where Breeze meets Unique, this was such a hard and iconic moment right here. 2 guys at the top of their game, trying to see who was the bigger dog, Unique knowing that, time is almost up, Breeze is coming in, and Breeze trying to size up everyone that's around him, trying to be like, who do I need to take out, who do I need to partner with? When Unique knew that Breeze was trying to deceive him to be partners, knowing fully well that that's what happens when they want to take you out, not inviting you to meetings, not involving you in things when they're telling you that you guys are partners. He knew like this wasn't it, and Unique just exited by himself, and I'm glad he did that because that was the best thing for him, Vanessa, and Jerome. This is surely going to be talked about for years. Another iconic scene has to be Marvin's speech at Lulu's funeral. You could see the pain in his eyes, in his voice. London Brown also talked about, losing his own brother. It just makes it 10 times more painful, the whole expression in his face. Him talking about whoever did this will have to meet me before he meets God. So it was so hard, even though it was in church and he knew that he was wrong for that, but he knew that he was going to get that person no matter what. And we saw him go on this whole rage of taking out anyone, just popping off, he went through a lot this season for real. This scene made me so emotional, but at the same time cemented Marvin as one of my favorite power characters for real. Up next, we have one of my favorite scenes in the whole of Raising Kanan, and I'm sure many people's favorite scene too. This scene between Unique and Rock, they're sizing each other up. Rock is trying to give Unique an opportunity to join her in this new business venture. Unique is like, nah, I'm not an employee, I'm a boss, that kind of thing. They're also flirting. Unique drops like this nice, very swaggy one-liners. It was just like an iconic scene, and it was like, this was going to be the start of something new, and I thought this was going to be Endgame. I actually thought this was going to be Endgame, but it was such an iconic scene. Next, we have obviously the scene where Kanan kills Marvin. You could see Marvin was ready to go. Marvin was like, you either do it now or don't do it at all. You don't point a gun at someone and not shoot. Everyone knows that, Kanan knows that, so he knew he had to shoot. And I also loved how Marvin was like, you see me in your nightmares, like you won't forget this for a very, very long time. It was for sure a statement, and for someone that's a gangster, like he said, this was a very good way to go out because he was truly a gangster. Respect to Marvin. Up next, we have this scene where Kanan meets Rock, and the whole purpose of this meeting is because Kanan realizes that Rock is not as bad as he thought she was. Then on top of that, when they meet each other, she apologizes, and him too, he apologizes. I know she's in tears, you know, she's emotional, she's about to lose everything, but she doesn't want to lose her son. And Kanan's like, go meet Stefano, like, I want you to live, yeah, you're my mom. Go. What was such an iconic scene, you knew it was the beginning of the end, because when Jukebox saw them reunite, knowing that Marvin is gone, she thought that, you know, they planned it, and she was like, nah, Rock is out of here. Such an iconic scene, and I can't talk enough about Patina Miller and her work in Raising Kanan. Truly amazing. Last but not least, we have one of the final scenes of the series. Kanan meets with Jukebox, and Jukebox tells Kanan exactly what she just did, and he's in disbelief. He's like, what? I know. And Jukebox tells Kanan, like, I want you to feel the same pain I am feeling. This scene was so deep, like you could feel it. I had to pause the scene and just think about it. Jukebox was like, anyone and everyone that ever cared about you is gone, and that's exactly how I wanted it. You to be alone in this world with me. Such an iconic scene. I could see like this was a transformation of Jukebox into what she was in the OG Power. This is the start of her journey for real, and it's going to be a long and crazy one. Also, one episode I really enjoyed was season 2, episode 10. Watching it back again, that episode had so much great scenes, from the Rock and Unique scene in the restaurant to the ending scene of the war, you know, to the I own you nigga scene with her and Lulu. It was such an amazing episode. Alright guys, those are my best scenes from Raising Kanan all seasons. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.